A world of wonder and whispers, introducing Lewis Carroll. Lewis Carroll, the name conjures images of talking rabbits, grinning cats, and mad tea parties. He is the mastermind behind Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, a tale that has enchanted generations. But behind the whimsical stories lies a complex figure, Charles Lutwidge Dodgson, a man of mathematics and logic who found solace in the world of imagination. This essay delves into the life, works, and controversies surrounding this literary giant, exploring the man behind the pen name and his enduring impact on literature. Carroll's impact on children's literature is undeniable. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and its sequel, Through the Looking Glass, are considered classics. Their whimsical characters, nonsensical situations, and imaginative settings have captivated readers of all ages. But Carroll's influence extends beyond children's literature. His works have inspired countless adaptations, from films and plays to video games and operas. Despite his literary success, Carroll's life remains shrouded in mystery and controversy. His relationships with young girls, particularly his muse Alice Liddell, have been the subject of much debate. Some scholars argue that his fondness for children was innocent and childlike, while others view it with suspicion. These controversies continue to shape how we interpret his work and legacy. This essay aims to provide a balanced and nuanced perspective on Lewis Carroll's life and works. By exploring his background, inspirations, and relationships, we can gain a deeper understanding of the man behind the magic. We will also delve into the controversies surrounding his life, examining the evidence and arguments from various perspectives. Ultimately, this essay seeks to shed light on the enigmatic figure of Lewis Carroll and his lasting impact on literature and culture. Behind the Looking Glass, Charles Dodgson's transformation. To understand Lewis Carroll, we must first meet Charles Lutwidge Dodgson. Born in 1832 in Cheshire, England, Dodgson lived a life seemingly at odds with the whimsical worlds he created. A devout Christian and mathematician, he reveled in the absurd. Dodgson's upbringing was steeped in Victorian sensibilities. He was the eldest son in a large family, with 10 siblings to entertain. His father, a clergyman, instilled in him a love of learning. Young Charles excelled in mathematics and logic. He studied at Christ Church, Oxford, where he remained for most of his life. Despite his achievements, Dodgson was shy and struggled with a stammer. He found solace in imagination, entertaining children with stories. During this time, he adopted the pen name Lewis Carroll. This transformation allowed him to embrace the whimsical and absurd. Down the rabbit hole of inspiration. The genesis of Alice. The story of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland is as enchanting as the tale itself. It began on a golden afternoon in 1862, when Charles Dodgson, accompanied by his friend Robinson Duckworth and the 3 young daughters of Henry Liddell, embarked on a boating trip up the River Thames. To entertain the children, Dodgson began to spin a fantastical tale of a young girl who fell down a rabbit hole and found herself in a bizarre and wonderful world. The central figure of this impromptu story was Alice Liddell, the Dean of Christ Church's daughter, who, with her sisters Lorena and Edith, captivated Dodgson's imagination. Inspired by Alice's youthful curiosity and vivid imagination, Dodgson wove a tale filled with nonsensical creatures, impossible situations, and thought-provoking puzzles. The children were enthralled, begging Dodgson to write down the story. Spurred on by the children's enthusiasm, Dodgson began to expand upon his impromptu tale. He spent months meticulously crafting the story, adding new characters, adventures, and layers of meaning. He even learned to draw, creating his own illustrations to accompany the text. What began as a simple story for children blossomed into a complex and multi-layered work of literature. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland was finally published in 1865 under Dodgson's pen name Lewis Carroll. The book was an instant success, captivating readers of all ages with its whimsical charm and thought-provoking themes. It established Carroll as a master storyteller and cemented his place in literary history. But Alice was more than just a children's story. It was a reflection of Carroll's own complex and contradictory nature. His love of logic and nonsense, his fascination with childhood and innocence, and his deep-seated anxieties about the rapidly changing world around him. Section 4. Curiouser and Curiouser, Carroll's relationships with young friends. No exploration of Lewis Carroll's life would be complete without addressing his relationships with children, particularly young girls. Carroll was known for his fondness for children. often befriending the daughters of his colleagues and acquaintances. He would entertain them with stories, games, and outings, showering them with gifts and affection. These relationships, though seemingly innocent at the time, have become the subject of much scrutiny and debate in modern times. Carroll's most famous friendship was with Alice Liddell, the inspiration behind Alice's adventures in Wonderland. He met Alice when she was 4 years old and developed a close bond with her and her sisters. He would often take them on outings to the park, the theater, and his photography studio, where he would capture their youthful images and photographs. These photographs, some of which show the girls in various states of dress and undress, have fueled much of the controversy surrounding Carroll's relationships with children. It is important to note that there is no evidence to suggest that Carroll's relationships with children were ever physically inappropriate. However, his intense fascination with young girls, coupled with the often unequal power dynamics at play, has led some to question his motives and the nature of these relationships. Some scholars argue that Carroll's behavior was typical of Victorian society, where close relationships between adults and children were not uncommon. The debate surrounding Carroll's relationships with children is complex and multifaceted. It is a debate that requires sensitivity and nuance, acknowledging the historical and cultural context of Carroll's time, while also recognizing the potential for harm in relationships with significant power imbalances. Ultimately, it is up to each individual to draw their own conclusions about Carroll's relationships with children, based on the available evidence and their own personal interpretations. Section 5. Whispers in Wonderland, Controversies, and Carroll's Legacy. Lewis Carroll's legacy is a curious blend of whimsy and controversy. While his literary creations continue to enchant generations, his personal life, particularly his relationships with children, has been the subject of ongoing debate and scrutiny. These controversies, whispered like secrets down a rabbit hole, have cast a long shadow over Carroll's reputation, prompting us to re-examine his life and works through a more critical lens. The heart of the controversy lies in Carroll's undeniable fascination with young girls. His closest friendships were with children, and his photographs of them, often depicting them in various stages of dress and undress, have raised eyebrows in modern times. While there is no evidence to suggest any sexual impropriety, the intensity of his focus on young girls, coupled with the power dynamics at play, has fueled speculation and discomfort. Adding to the complexity is the Victorian context in which Carroll lived. During this era, close relationships between adults and children were not uncommon, and societal norms regarding appropriate behavior were vastly different from today's standards. Some argue that judging Carroll by modern standards is anachronistic and unfair, while others contend that his behavior, even within the context of his time, was unusual and potentially problematic. The debate surrounding Carroll's legacy is a microcosm of larger conversations about artistic genius, personal flaws, and the evolution of societal norms. It compels us to grapple with uncomfortable questions about the boundaries of acceptable behavior, the nature of childhood innocence, and the extent to which an artist's personal life should influence our interpretation of their work. Ultimately, it is a debate without easy answers, leaving us to navigate the complex terrain of Carroll's world with a mixture of wonder and caution. Section 6. An Enduring Legacy, Carroll's Impact on Literature and Beyond. Despite the controversies, Lewis Carroll's impact on literature and popular culture remains undeniable. Alice's adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass have transcended their status as children's stories to become cultural touchstones, inspiring countless adaptations, interpretations, and homages across various artistic mediums. Carroll's whimsical characters, nonsensical situations, and thought-provoking themes continue to resonate with audiences of all ages, solidifying his place as a literary icon. Carroll's influence extends far beyond the realm of children's literature. His works have been adapted into numerous films, plays, ballets, operas, and video games. His characters have become instantly recognizable figures, appearing on everything from t-shirts and mugs to postage stamps and playing cards. His stories have been translated into over 170 languages, making Alice one of the most recognizable literary characters worldwide. Beyond their entertainment value, Carroll's stories have also had a profound impact on art, psychology, and philosophy. His exploration of language, logic, and the nature of reality has inspired scholars and thinkers for over a century. His works have been analyzed for their philosophical underpinnings, their psychological insights and their reflections on Victorian society. Lewis Carroll's legacy is a testament to the enduring power of imagination and the timeless appeal of stories that challenge our perceptions and transport us to worlds beyond our own. While controversies surrounding his personal life may linger, his literary creations continue to spark joy, wonder, and intellectual curiosity in audiences worldwide, ensuring that his place in the annals of literary history remains secure.